Brutsy and Giddy got a show to glow. Life stories wild like a late night dream. We're spilling the tea and it's hot like steam. Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz? What's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Brutsy code.
What is up, good people? You're watching the Brutsy and Kitty show. It is Monday. Kitty, how are we doing on this lovely Monday?
Great. I've been to the gym this morning. I've done 2 classes. I've done legs and glutes and whatever. I am a happy bunny. And we had some great results of the football, didn't we?
We did. I haven't been. I've got to be honest. I haven't been to the gym in like a week. I have not been motivated lately to go to the gym. Like, I don't know what it is at the minute. I've got that gym block at the minute. I just can't get myself through the door at the minute. I don't know.
And if you've got that mindset, it's not going to do anything. You've got to be in the right place, haven't you, mind-wise? So just give yourself a break.
Yeah. I think like, you know, I've got my minimum. I tried to stick to. I tried to do like 300 or 400 press ups a day, just as my minimum basic thing. But I've not even been doing that. But today I'm gonna do my minimum only, and I'm gonna print it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna do all that lovely stuff just to sort of have it out there to say, right, I've started. I'm back in. You mentioned the footy results. Some great results over the weekend. A Forest win.
Yes.
A Manchester United win.
Yes.
Most importantly, let's go champs. How did your game go?
Ours was brilliant. They played amazingly. I mean, there was a lot of defending. It was back and forth, which I absolutely love with football. I don't like it when it's all one-sided. I love that, you know, end-to-end sort of stuff. I don't like the feeling of nervousness, but I do love watching football that's end to end. And that was brilliant watching Arsenal and Manchester United play like that as well. It was very end to end.
Wasn't it just? I think Arsenal. I mean, did you watch the game? Jesus, what are they doing with these set pieces, these corners? It is absolutely, towards the end when we were winning and they were trying to get a goal, absolutely savage, absolutely shameless. Like, you know, what they were doing to our goalkeeper, it's like they were playing ring. It's like they were all linking hands. It was like the referees have got to get on top of it because it's an absolute piss take.
Don't you think as well these days that the managers seem to be pushing their strikers to get penalties, like almost like kick the ball at their arms? I just find that they're sort of using it. Do you not think?
For sure. I mean, some of these penalties are they're a joke. These stupid handball ones. I mean, we had a new referee, didn't we? A situation where he overruled VAR. They called him to the monitor as a young man making his debut in the referee world, and he stood to his guns, and he's got a lot of praise from a lot of pundits. Yours truly, Gary Neville, as well, putting his rubber stamp on him. And it's some of these, we had some quite not contentious ones, but there might have been a little brush of the ball on Dorgu before he scores that screamer. And I'm like, you can't rule the goal out for it. Like, you know, it's got to be a proper handball, not just brushing up against him and stuff. Absolutely mental.
And also, there's that natural movement as well. So if you swing your arm as you turn, and they're going, "Oh, it's handball," it's not.
Yeah.
I know, but there's a lot of people that think that these new rules are, even if it touches your arm, you know, it's an automatic penalty, and I'm getting really fed up because it's almost like some of them are playing towards that, you know, and that's not football to me.
For sure. Handball is like, you know, someone literally moving their arm out to stop the ball, like, you know, not accidentally bumping up and hitting someone in the hand. Like, you know, you would never have got that back in the day. Never have got that. Like, you know, just, you know, play on, man. Like,
I think Sean Dyche, actually, I mean, I know he's my manager, but he said it best. If you're going to start giving penalties for stupid stuff like that, you might as well just end the game, because there's no point anymore. There's no point. People are literally, you know, if in doubt, you know, send it towards their arm. No, that's not how we play football, is it? I'd rather win on skill than being dirty and playing for the penalties. And plus we're at taking them at the moment.
yeah, I mean, Arsenal, their tactics, I mean, their fans at the minute, their fans are very confused. Like, you know, they're very, and even the players, like, they're very nervous during that game. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, the first 30 minutes, Arsenal probably had the better of the game. And then we sort of stepped up a little bit, started pressing them, and you could just see them. They're really nervous. They haven't got any Premier League winners. You know, they're close to the line, and the nerves are starting to settle in.
They think that because they've been told that they're the kings of the set piece, that's how they're going to win. They're forgetting that there's like football to be played on the pitch as well. Do you get what I mean? And I think they've got a bit above themselves, and it's something's hit them, if you know what I mean. And it's and I'm hearing a lot of Arsenal fans using that old term, "We're about to bottle it." And
yeah,
I think
it feels like that. I really don't want City to win it. I'd prefer Aston Villa are 4 points behind as well. I doubt they'll get over the line. I think they will slowly start to dwindle away, just like they did last season. You know, I hope they don't, but I feel like that's probably what's going to happen.
this part of the season is always the most telling. You either, because a lot of them get tired and it's the end of the
Squeaky
season.
bum time, as Fergie used to call it. Squeaky bum time. It's squeaky bum time.
I think a lot of them start to and I admit Forest did it last year. I said to you, didn't I, in February last year, that something happened and they just sort of lost their mojo. So I think it's a very telling time, this part of the season. So we can see what's happening. But well done, 4th place.
Finally, bloody nailed that position down. Seems like we've been trying to hold that position for God knows how long. All right, let's get into the meat and bones of it. You might notice we've got a picture over here of the late Alex Pretty, the man gunned down by the ICE agents. I have no intention of showing the videos. Everyone has seen it. You know, a healthcare worker, someone that spends his time helping people, gunned down by ICE agents.
Veterans
Veterans as well, yeah.
He works in a veterans hospital.
Yeah, and
he's been reading the last rites to them and all sorts, you know, sort of placing the flag on them and things like that. He's that nurse.
Wow. And his only offense seems to be trying to come to a woman's aid that's being pushed, and obviously that's what gets him in the tangle with you know, the ICE agents, and they wrestle him to the ground, punch him, beat him. One of them disarms him, and then I think, unfortunately, I think when in the process of disarming him and walking away, I think a bullet goes off, doesn't it? And then someone decides.
That's what opened it, didn't it? That discharging of the weapon. It looks like everybody got confused in the scuffle, and it happened.
And the shocking sort of like press work that they were doing. I don't know if you saw it. The lady came on and she said this was a violent man. He came to the rally with intent to harming the ICE agents. Like, you know, just like that's literally what she said. And then obviously backtracked as more information came out. Because obviously as soon as they hear gun, oh yeah, he had a gun. Like, you know, it's America. You're allowed to carry guns. He's a legal right to carry his arms, like open carry laws. They have them there. And
they were saying you've got to carry all your papers on you. And they're comparing it to Nazi Germany. That's terrible. Carry your papers. And like you say, every time, more or less now, it's white Americans.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. It's not people. It's it's, you know, I feel with the way, like, I've been doing a lot of research into sort of like the ISIS sort of hiring campaigns and stuff, like, you know, and the sort of things that they've been putting out, like, you know, it's all to attract sort of like the good old boys kind of people. Come in here, you get paid shitloads of money, get a 50 grand bonus or something like that, and you get to sort of harass people. Like, you know, like bully nature, like, you know, just, and you see it. These guys are just bullies, like, you know, absolute bullies. And
A lot of them are with the January Sixers as well. You know, those people.
yeah. All the just
Six was
the good old boys. And Donald Trump even came out and said the what are they called? That biker gang? That biker gang in America, Hell's Angels. He said the Hell's Angels, which are a notorious sort of like, you know, they're a criminal element. Like, you know, he says, oh, they're great people. They're protecting me and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, you're talking about drugs and stuff like that. Like, you know, I mean, this is kind of what goes with biker gangs and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, you know, the kind of drugs and selling drugs and, you know,
I've
and
seen.
the whole.
I know what goes off.
Yeah, like, but he's praising them. It seems to me that he has. I tell you, if the Democrats get if the Democrats get in after Trump now, that man is going to jail. Like, I don't care what pardons that he's obviously going to write himself some pardons, presidential pardons and stuff. That man is going to jail. 100%, he is going to jail. Like,
And the leader of this ICE agency, have you seen him? The very small,
absolutely, he looks like a scumbag, absolute scumbag. Yeah,
in his trench coat,
yeah.
and he's throwing out the salute.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah,
seen.
yeah. I see that. I've seen that video. I've seen
So,
that video.
what a man this is! This is a bully. This is a man with little man syndrome. I would
All of them, they all look the same. They like, you know. Unfortunately, with police officers, unfortunately, you do get that sort of thing from them anyway. Like, you know, there's a very high. If you look at the police force and stuff, like, you know, policemen, they're probably account for some of the highest sort of demographics in terms of domestic
Yeah.
violence and stuff. Like, you know, it's one of those power trippy roles, and, you know, it's probably hard to turn off. You don't get, like, you have the power to literally end someone's life. You've got a gun on you. You can detain who you want. Especially these ICE, they seem to be above the law at the minute, where they can just kill innocent people, and people are just like, you know, it's not going to be long, Kitty. I promise you, it's not going to be long before people start
I don't.
shooting.
There'll be a
It's not
civil.
going to be long before people start shooting at them, and it's going to be a war in the streets. Like, it's funny how in Minneapolis now they've sort of buggered off and they've sent in the National Guard to sort of like calm things down and stuff. But, you know, it's ICE that they have a problem with, and to send the National Guard in, it seems like, you know, it seems like Donald Trump is literally like our American friend said, like, you know, putting his nutsack in everyone's face. Like, you know, the man is just shamefully saying what he wants. Like, you know, what did he say about our troops recently? He said that we just sort of stood back and sort of like, you know, we should be grateful to like, you know, like we should be sucking eggs when it comes to America, basically, and not even America, yeah, because I don't even want to say that, because I feel like most Americans are good people. Like, you know, Trump's in charge now. He'll be in charge for the rest of like another 3 years, whatever it is. After that, there'll probably be someone in there that's so much better. Like, you know, and
He's just got this thing in his bonnet that he is God.
yeah,
He's got
literally
God.
third
Seriously,
person syndrome. They love Trump. Everybody loves Trump.
They call me daddy. They call me daddy. Who do you know? When I hear him, I just think to myself, now who are you? Who
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
are?
We've got a couple of I found this video of a vet talking about how he feels about Trump. I'll just play this video right now. This is in the aftermath of Trump's comments about us sort of standing back.
I did 32 years in the Royal Marines. I joined in 87, left in 2014, did 3 tours of Afghanistan. Well, actually 4, Operation Jacana. Went through 3 different rank structures, finished as a colour sergeant.
Right.
Lost 9 friends. I'd love to stand in front of this talentless oik and say to him, you need to apologise to a nation. Because let me tell you, Mr. Trump, we will be there for you, for your countrymen, but not for you, you coward. Because you could never walk in our shoes. But we walk amongst you every single day. People like you. He's not a leader. He could never be a leader. Because being a leader is a very lonely path. And when it's a very lonely path, you don't come out with a
Yeah. Obviously, you know, a man that served in these wars for America, run around chasing America around, like, you know, for some reason we thought it'd be a good idea to go to the Middle East and cause all these problems and destabilize. And what did we end up with? What did we actually end up with? Yeah, we probably got some oil, we probably made some money, but we've also inherited a whole load of people now with no home, with an unstable country that are here now. They're literally here on our borders. Imagine that, like, you know, imagine that.
Lost 457 soldiers, and so many were absolutely, damaged. Not even just,
Maimed ones, the main ones as well. You know, there's
yeah,
ones that
yeah,
died, and then the ones that were maimed.
and physical and mental damage, and then to come home and be told, well, actually, we didn't really need to go because the weapons of mass destruction, it was a bit of a lie. We sort of amped it up. So all that stuff that you did in Hellman's Prophet, which is one of the most dangerous places, this is where the British troops were, that they set up Camp Bastion and everything, in one of the scariest, most deadliest places, and then they came home to be told, all that stuff you've just done, I didn't really need to do it because we made it up a little bit.
I wonder whether people are getting to the point where they will start questioning orders and stuff. Where I know to the general man on the street, when he's asked about conscription and would he fight for this country, most people are like, absolutely not. We're not fighting for America. We're not fighting for another country's interests. Like, you know, like that's generally how people feel. And it's nothing like, you know, there's always going to be the queen and country sort of people, you know, the really patriotic people. But I feel like even them, they're second guessing the government right now, or what we're doing exactly. Like, you know, we can't even deal with our own sort of problems, and we're sort of worrying about everything else.
I think a lot of people would fight for this country, but I don't think they'd fight for America. I don't think they want to fight for.
What's the difference? What's the difference if Nigel Farage gets in, and you know he's going to be?
This is the thing. People need to open their eyes, because Nigel Farage is so far up Donald Trump's arse. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an argument with somebody over the weekend, and they were talking about the NHS, and they were saying, no, he wants to look after the NHS. Nigel Farage, he does not.
Why don't they listen? What do you know? What do you know? What, Kitty? I've been listening to so many people, and it's like they're either, unfortunately now we have left or right. No, they have divided everyone. And if you're leaning left, you're going to be more accepting, more into the socialism side of stuff. If you're leaning right, they feel like, I don't know, they just make things up. Like, you know, I was speaking, like I told you, I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they were like, 76% of immigrants that come over commit crimes. I'm like, where did you get that number from? This was an intelligent person as well. I was like you're actually spouting that like it's truth, like, you know, it's absolute BS, like, you know. And you know, and in America you've got it to the point where they don't care whether someone that looks just like them has just been executed in the street. Like, you know, the establishments, the people in charge have done their job. They have divided a whole country, like, you know. And why can't we just stick to what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong? Call it out on both sides. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. There's nothing wrong with that. Calling it out, like, you know, you can be in the middle. But these guys are so...
They pick things out of conversation, and before you know it, it's blown into something. So at some point, Nigel Farage has obviously said something like, oh, immigrants are using our NHS and I need to improve it. But what he actually means is, the immigrants that are coming over aren't going to be able to get to it because I'm going to privatise it.
What he really means is the people that have funded my campaign and funded me have told me that they want us to adopt a healthcare system, but like based on America, like based on their system, and it's going to be to the highest bidder. Basically, you're going to have private companies coming in, and he's going to get a whole load of money, just like he did when he forced us into Brexit and then buggered off. But we've got a lady over here, a reaction from a lady that voted for Trump at the minute, and let's get her up.
Without us.
Not that one. Where is she? There we go.
Apologies and
I need to say I'm sorry. I voted for him. I thought he was going to help folks like me. I really did. Now my SNAP's gone, my Medicaid's gone. They cut off my heat and help last week. I don't know how I'm supposed to buy groceries next month or keep the lights on. I ain't got no.
Yeah, basically just reacting just to sort of her situation, how her life is gonna be is drastically being changed. Like, you know, her benefits are being cut, her Medicaid. This is such a big thing. People just don't understand it. Like, you know, we cannot ever get to the point where people can't go to the hospital to treat themselves. Like, you know, like if you're the poorest of the poor, you should be able to go to the hospital and get a decent sort of style of sort of treatment without having to show your wallet and show your insurance card and all this sort of nonsense. Like, you know, no.
Tap your card. No, sorry. These are the people you need to listen to, everybody, because all you lot sitting there going, I'm going to vote reform, while you're claiming your benefits and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're getting your health care all paid for, you know, your medications. He's going to cut them benefits and he's going to take your health care. So where are you going to be? You're going to be in that exact position that woman is right now, sobbing your socks off, wondering how you're going to put food on the table, how you're going to get your own medication, and how you are going to live, because you're not.
That's it. I mean, you have hundreds of thousands and maybe even, I don't know the exact numbers, but maybe even millions of people in America that are homeless with their children. If you don't pay the rent, you get kicked out on the street. It's the same here, but you don't get kicked out on the street. There's places where you can go with your kids. Like, you know, unfortunately, what is it? I think it's between about 70 or 80% of people that are homeless in this country they have a drink or drug problem. Like, you know, it's a very high percentage. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but it's very high. Like, you know, if you're on the streets in this country, it's normally because you've got some sort of addictions while you stay there. There's loads of things in place for you to go to. Like, you know, we are we are civilized in that sense. Like, you know, there's no women and children on the streets freezing cold and that are gonna die in the cold, like, you know, like there are in America. Like, you know, just it's just unbelievable, honestly. Like, you know, the fact that they can't see it, they just put this anger and put this division, turning families, like literally families don't talk to each other. They're Democrats, Republicans, they don't speak to each other. Like, you know, I've met these people and I spoke to them and they're like, no, we don't. I've never. My dad don't speak to me now. Like, you know, because I voted for Obama. Like, you know, insane kind of stuff.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like I say, these people that are voting for the likes of Nigel Farage, please, I don't know who's, and I can't vote for Labour. I really can't. I've never been a Conservative. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but I do know that I won't be voting for Nigel Farage. That's one thing I can say to you. I will not vote for that man because I don't trust him. I do not trust him. He's given me, like with Brexit, he kept saying we're going to get an extra 350 million for the NHS. Never once said where it was coming from. Just picked a number out the air and just went, and where is it? Where's that 350 million? Because, you know, we're still the NHS is on its arse, basically. It's just what we would call in Liverpool a proper gobshite.
Yeah. Let's get old Trump up here and see what he's been up to. Anyway, I've got some.
Without us,
Oh yeah, this
right now
is
you'd all
him.
be
This is him
speaking
throwing his
German
banner
and
into the
a
work.
little Japanese, perhaps.
We'll be
If I
speaking-
settled 8 other wars,
We'll be speaking Japanese.
India,
and
Pakistan, Armenia,
bragging about. Yeah,
Azerbaijan.
he's so full of himself, isn't he? He's just so full of himself. Absolutely mental.
He's got an actual God complex. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone's like, yeah, we all need a strong leader. You don't need that. That's delusional.
Yeah.
That's delusional. That is delusions of grandeur. God complex. I'm telling you now, if I was an American right now, I'd be embarrassed of my president. I'd be so embarrassed. His weapon.
I think a lot of them are, Kitty. I think a lot of them are. I've shut TikTok down because that account is literally like the other day, literally. I think it's like 23 people came into my TikTok stream and I was like, what? That's like, that's mental. So I shut that one down for the minute. Wouldn't
you be embarrassed if that was? I mean, I'm embarrassed of our Prime Minister, to be quite honest with you, because I don't think he's got the nuts to stand up. But I would be absolutely
Well,
mortified.
saying that, Starmer, his reaction was certainly stronger than Nigel Farage's. Nigel Farage was like beating around the bush, like, we have to stand by America. And Keir Starmer came out and
Start by paying tribute to the 457 of our armed services who lost their lives in Afghanistan. I will never forget their courage, their bravery, and the sacrifice that they made for their country. There are many also who were injured, some with life-changing injuries. And so I consider President Trump's remarks to be insulting and frankly appalling. And I'm not surprised they've caused such hurt to the loved ones of those who were killed or injured, and in fact, across the country.
As well as politicians expressing a view, a lot of the relatives, some bereaved, others whose sons in particular suffered dreadful injuries. One is Diane Durney.
Yeah, I mean, at least Starmer came out there and he sort of showed some sort of backbone. Nigel Farage came out and said, "Well, we have to work with America." Trump is basically, just very blasé about him.
No, we don't. We don't need to. We're an island. We're self-sufficient. We can look after ourselves. We can do deals with other countries. We've said this for how long now? We need to say goodbye to America. If that's who you're going to, that is who you are allowing to lead your country and embarrass you to the point where the rest of the world looks at you and goes, "What?"
Yeah.
And weaponizers, racist bullies. That's what they've done, guys. Racist bullies. That man is throwing the Heil signal. He's. And did you know his family are Italian immigrants?
It's always something like that. Just it's kind of like sometimes you have someone with a bit of color in them, and they feel like to sort of show that they're one of the boys. They have to show a bit. They have to be a bit more. But honestly, it is mental. It is mental.
And rounding up all the people that are killing people, the likes that are doing the DUIs. Let me tell you something about his dad. His dad left the bar that he owned and ran into a woman and served a year in prison for that.
Wow.
Okay? His grandparents were Italian immigrants. So by his standards, his dad should be removed. I'm just saying, you can't have one rule for one and one rule for the other. Little man syndrome, going round throwing that salute. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be absolutely, and I think most Americans are.
But I think I just, like I said to you, I think they will not put up with this for that long. They really won't put up with it for that long. The fact that they are they're basically just killing Democrats. Basically, if you're not right, leaning that way, they're killing you. And people on the right aren't saying anything. This is the problem. It's dangerous. You can, like Joe Rogan, he's more right than left, I would say. He's come out and called out and said, "No, that's a bad look. We can't be doing this kind of nonsense." A lot of people have come out and said that, but unfortunately, the sheep can't see that this is wrong. This man was treating veterans, and all he done was he tried to. So what? He's recording them. What right do you have to go up to someone and spray bear spray into them? More transparency is what's needed. If you're doing, we get it. People have come over illegally. You need to deport them. You want to deport them. Fine. Obama deported more than 3 million people. He deported a lot of people. But I don't remember any of this nonsense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there wasn't no major outrage. They were separating families as well. I understood that.
Putting them in those cages again. They've warmed up again. They were putting there was pictures coming out and videos coming out of these cages that they were putting. That was Obama. I told that was bad, but this is disgusting. This is vile. This is, like I say, the Americans, I think, are going to go and you and I have both said it. They'll end up in civil war.
Yeah, this is why they've had to bring the National Guard in, and ICE have buggered off. If ICE stayed there, Lord of mercy, it would have gone more. I see some of them riots and some of them protests I saw after that. So many people. It looked like freaking the rally that we went to. Like there's so many people. You couldn't move. People had showed up.
And they're armed.
Yeah.
Most are armed. So it would have been a shootout in the street before,
Yeah.
you know. I've seen a lot on X that are saying it's time to arm up. It's
Yeah.
time to, and you think this is not, we're not in 1883. We're in 2026.
Yeah.
We,
Well, I think and so Trump has kidded with the idea of as well. Like there was that thing where if the country's in war during elections, there can't be any elections or something like that, so he could stay on. So is he trying to cause so much shit that the country breaks out into civil war, people start shooting, and then he has to stay in charge to sort of stay in. I can't see this being the end of his term. I can't see him laying down the power that he's got. I don't think he can. I think the moment he comes out of office, there's a big target on his head, a big target. And I don't know. I don't see this going anyway. But I just think it's wrong, and I think people just need to stop it before it starts. But there's so much hatred. Like I've never seen so much hatred before in my life than I see today. Between left and right.
It's shocking. It's shocking. And like you say, now it's no longer white and black or white and brown.
It's left and right, mate. Left and right.
People are justifying shooting people down in the street. How can you justify that?
Yeah. Like that Renee one, that Renee lady, when she was shot, someone said to me that they mentioned an incident that happened with her child where she spanked them or she punished them or something like that. And I was like, mate, what are you doing? Like, how, you're a grown man, you're talking like this. It doesn't matter if she, obviously it's like if she's done something bad and she's done something bad, but what's that got to do with her being shot? It's just like they're trying to put shit on her character, just literally just trying to dehumanize it, rationalize it, whatever they want to try to do.
There's no justification for shooting a woman who was just pulling her car off. There's no justification. I don't care what she's done in the past. I just don't care. They go back to George Floyd and they go, well, he was a criminal and he was on the floor and you had your knee on his neck. He's still a person.
Yeah.
He should have been held accountable. He should have been to court and he should have served his.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you can. That's how a society runs. With laws and structure. We would all like to do what we want to do to these people that do these bad things. The really bad people. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone would universally probably agree on what we would like to do to them. But there's a process. And if we don't follow this process, we're just as bad as the bad guys, or in a way. If we don't, because it's just not there needs to be law and order. Without law and order, there's chaos, and we don't need to be there. I get it sometimes, some people can say, right, we're not going to miss this guy, if something bad happens to them and stuff. But it never happens to the really bad people. It happens to someone stealing a phone or stealing something stupid, doing some petty crime that we all know. That this is the thing, everyone shits on criminals and stuff, but we all know a criminal. We don't have to go 5 doors down the road before we know someone in our family or that's a bit on the shady, that's got a bit of that problem, and all kinds of things. So we can't really sit there and say you make your mate that's got your family member or someone that's got a little bit of a drug problem or something, should they be choked out on the floor or something stupid like that? No, it's just pathetic, really.
There's no we are no better. I think if you can start justifying this sort of behavior, you are no better than the people that are actually going around murdering and killing, because we're not God. We don't get to we shouldn't need to get to decide unless they've done something really bad, and which ones we're talking.
And we got no problem with that. We most people got no problem with that.
Nope, I have got no problem. Like I said, I'd sell seats. It's for me. That's the thing that we should all come together on. Like you said, this should be the common cause. But right now, people are left and right, like you say, and justifying people being murdered or kids being snatched off the street, children being snatched off
Yeah.
their parents.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I've seen a lot of things with this ICE situation, and obviously, it seems like it's definitely gone out of control. If they what they need to do is they need to be more transparent of what they're doing. They say that they're going after the criminals, they're going after this person. They need to show that a bit more. We can't, like, why is someone protesting in front of you? That's their God-given right. You Americans talk about your right to carry arms and all the rest of it. Now it's a death sentence. If you get entangled with an ICE agent, like, if you're just there trying to record and you've got a gun on you, that's a death sentence now. Like, so I don't know, man.
Like I say, it's really weird that this Nuremberg thing has come out as it has right now, right at this moment, because it's showing some real sort of side by side things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't learn from that, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
No, and this is the scary thing, and you guys, you ICE guys, have got to remember, Nuremberg, they weren't allowed to use the term. It was just orders. They didn't. They tried. That was their counter argument, that we were just following orders. It didn't work. So you telling us, well, because we know, like you say, at the end of his next 2 years, when he gets impeached and he's brought to justice, and those guys are going with him. You really think they're going to let you go? People are going to remember what you've done. People are going to remember these children that were in their beds as you nicked their parents.
It's a tough one, the immigration one, though, isn't it? It's a really tough one because you get it. You want some system in place. My squirrel's just turning up to get his nuts. He's like, "Where are you?" Just seeing him running across my fence. Bloody the magpies keep coming and nicking the bloody the nuts that I put out for the squirrels.
Also, that guy, that Don, the guy that's the head of the ISO, his grandparents waited 15 years before they became British Americans.
Wow.
They were illegal immigrants as well. These are the bits that, he's forgetting about himself as he's walking around in his trench coat. I can't stand him. I really think he's got that little man syndrome.
He looks like a violent bully, and he looks like a lot of them do. They look like violent bullies, and unfortunately, well, I feel like shit's gonna happen, and it's just a matter of time, and we'll have to sit back and watch this space. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see people getting into gunfights with ICE agents, but I feel like that's where it's going.
Yeah, and while you're at it, Donald, keep the UK's name out of your mouth, because we don't want you horrible.
Yeah.
We don't want anything. I personally don't want anything to do with you. Not the American people. I've got no problem with them. Him.
Yeah. It's amazing when, like, it's like the face of a company, it's just like, it's just that person you can't stand, because most Americans are really cool people, like, they're really good people, but just someone like that, he just inspires like the worst of the worst. It's like we have far right parties for sure, but in this country for sure we do, but they're no way near like impact. Can you imagine telling the far right? Imagine creating a new police force almost and telling the far right that they can have guns and go in the streets, and good God, man, it'd be mayhem. But
They'd be picking people off.
Yeah,
picking them off,
and that's what it seems like they're doing in America.
Yeah, but they're not picking. To be fair, they're not picking off the right people, are they? They're picking off white Americans. So you're doing your job wrong. I'm not being funny. You've got a job description. They seem to have not listened, because they're just taking everybody out.
Yeah.
Innocent people. I just think, how dare you, Donald? How dare you bring my country, talk about my country like that, when we went to war for you? We went to war for you. And how dare you say, oh, you would have been talking German and you would have been talking a little bit of Japanese. Shut up. I tell you what, never, ever, ever put me in a room with him.
All right, Kitty, we'll end it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining. As always, comments in the chat, guys. Interact with the show, get involved. Peace and love to you guys. Have a lovely Monday. Enjoy the rest of it. Probably finishing your day now, but peace and love to you guys.